Internet! My name is Abby and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program on wings. Since the landing on the runway at Kerbal Space Center, Jetma is sitting inside the Sky Explorer 2 and is awaiting permission to finally end this mission and to return back into the astronaut complex. And well, permission has been granted, Jetma can end the mission and the Sky Explorer 2 can be recovered. And well, what have we done during the maiden flight of this airplane? We conducted an atmosphere analysis while flying over Kerban's grasslands. We gathered 200 data and we earned 2.3 signs. Very nice. We got some funds back. And well, unfortunately, Jetma has not gained any experience, and that's sad. But on the other side, he survived the flight, and this is also very good. And here, for today, I have planned various things. First, I like to disable the flags, and then I like to join the crew members on board of the Duna space station. Because today I like to start to generate some signs with the Duna space station. And yeah, we are now back with Enfrod, Newfrod and Tom Kerman. And at first I like to take a crew report while in space high over Duna. Okay, keep the data. And now Enfrod can turn on his lights and take the data and go on a quick EVA. So easy. Okay, Enfrod, please do an EVA report. EVA report while in high space over Duna. Very nice. Keep the data. And now Enfrod can return or fly toward the hedge of the mobile processing lab, and now he can board the mobile processing lab. Okay, we have stored the data in here. Now I like to review it and I like to process it in the lab. Okay, we are processing it, and I like also to process the EVA report. Very good. Okay, Tom is happy. Tom is really happy to look out of the window of the cupola module. That's cool. Okay, now I do have 2 data. And I can now start research. Okay, now I am transmuting this data into science points, and that's really cool. I am currently transmuting this data at a rate of 0.1422 signs per day. And yeah, now we are generating some signs, and well, this is more or less an endless stream of science points. That's really cool. And well, as soon as I finished, I can transmit the signs, and then I have generated some signs, and I think this is really cool, especially for these biomes where I have already exhausted the normal way of generating science, so I can reuse these experiments and I can generate some more science, and I think that's really cool. So we can now join. Okay, he's a little bit unhappy. We can now join them inside the mobile processing lab. I like this new interior design, that's really cool. And yeah, okay guys, I hope you can, or you will have some fun generating the signs. And yeah, now I like to switch to the interplanetary travel stage of this Duna space station mission, because I like now to raise just a little bit the orbit. No, I don't want to perform a retro. Or am I controlling it from the right way? Let me just make sure. I like to control from here. Okay, here. Now, I like to perform a very short prograde burn, because I like to raise just a little bit the orbit of this of the interplanetary travel stage, because I like to make sure that there is no chance of colliding with the Duna space station. And yeah, so I will now raise the apoapsis to 415 kilometers, and I will do the same thing with the periapsis. Okay, and 14, 15. Okay, very good. And yeah, as soon as we are approaching the apoapsis, I will do the exact same thing, just to make sure that there's no chance that both spacecrafts are colliding. And now I like to switch back to the Duna space station, because I am thinking, would it be possible to reallocate their orbital ship 3 over here to this docking port in order to just boost a little bit the the periapsis. This would be cool. This would be really cool. Maybe we can do it right away. Newfrot is our pilot. So, I'll like to transfer Newfrot over here. And, well, this is now an experiment. I hope this is working as intended. I can now undock. I can switch over to Newfrot. And I like to have the docking mode. And, okay, RCS is running. And at first, I like to drift a little bit away. Very good, very good. I hope this is not causing severe issues, like, well, the station is tumbling out of control or anything like this when I start to perform a very, very gentle burn. This would be really good. This would be really amazing. Okay, now I like to set this as my target. Okay, very good, very good. Easy, easy. Okay, now I am floating downwards. I hope this is working out as intended. This would be really good. Okay, easy Newfrot, easy Newfrot. You're doing an amazing job. Because this would be really amazing if I would be able to circularize this orbit once again. I said I would be okay with the current orbit, but, well, once again, I think, well, I like to have a perfect circular orbit around Duner, and so I like at least to give it a try if I can maybe do this. Okay, now we can fly towards it. Easy, easy. And, okay, we are docked once again. Very good, very good. Okay, I like now to see, I like to say control from here. So far, so good. And what do I need to do if I like to change this just a tiny bit? I hope this is not causing so many issues. Okay, we are now aiming retrograde. This is good. So I like to see, can I, if I now switch on RCS and I do something like this, then the periapsis is raising. Very good, very good. Getting closer, 405 by... Okay, yeah, we got a little bit closer. Well, I think I have to wait until I reach the apoapsis again. But yeah, this is good. I think I can circulate the orbit. Or, well, can I even... Let me give this a try. Can I reduce a bit the apoapsis? And keeping the stable, well, more or less. Okay, this is cool. So I can play a little bit around with this, and well, the thing seems to remain stable. That's great. That's really great. Okay, Tom is happy about this. Newfrot is okay. Newfrot is a little bit scared. So I will now leave them up here, because now I like to return back at first to the Space Center, because I have also scheduled a launch for today, and I like to launch a spacecraft to the on a trajectory so that it can rendezvous with their science station. However, I like at first to insert it into a little bit a higher orbit, so it's maybe okay that the science station is back here and not in the right position. And moreover, I'm not quite sure about well, since we do have the new aerodynamic model, I'm not quite sure about the right position in order to launch on a trajectory or on a rendezvous trajectory with a science station, so that we can use this in order to learn a little bit more. And well, then we do have another problem on board of the science station. Let me just see this. Science station, we do have Dodo Kerman and Siddharth Kerman, an engineer and a pilot, but well, unfortunately, since the release of KSP 1.0, I am a little bit low on scientists, because a lot of my scientists have become pilots suddenly. Well, I'm okay with this, but on the other hand, I really need some more scientists, and I don't have a female Kerbalnaut, so I think I like to hire a new scientist, and I think I will hire Kersey Kerman is a scientist, and she can now join our space program, and she will be launched to the science station, and I think that's really cool. And well, I think who will fly with her? I think Bering and Kersey will now fly to their science station. That's really cool. Okay, I have now prepared a mission. Let me see. Where is the orbital ship 5PL? And PL stands for payload, because we are also launching a payload together with the spacecraft. And I said Bering and Kersey will now fly to the science station. So okay, I can now say launch. And here we are. We are on the launch pad. Kersey and Bering are looking forward to their first flight into space. Bering is really happy. He's really happy and eager to finally return back to space. And yeah, I can now adjust the throttle. I can turn SAS on. Very good. Okay, I think we are ready to go. And in 3, 2, 1, and lift off. A powerful launch. This time we are using these great solid rocket boosters. This is really amazing. I am really happy about using once again my favorite space launch system. And well, it looks really good with this shiny new fairing. And yeah, the fairing is really huge because, as I said, we are launching a payload or an additional thing, and together with the new spacecraft into orbit. And well, I hope you will like this idea, or well, I'm personally looking forward to this idea and to the thing I'm launching into space, and I will keep it a little bit more as a secret until I have the fairing jettison. Okay, now we are once again performing the new gravity turn. I can now throttle the main engine up because yeah, we are now running out of fuel for the solid rocket boosters, and we are now accelerating nicely. Very good, very good. I think soon we are reaching max Q. And this is the most dangerous point, because if you are not careful enough, you can lose the control over your spacecraft due to the drag. But I think we made it through the most critical point. And yeah, now I can continue the gravity turn. And oh dear, Kersey is really scared. Bering is really excited. Well, I'm not quite sure what is going on. And okay, yeah. Gravity turn is working quite nice, and as soon as we reached, and okay, now I can start to turn over a little bit more, and yeah, I like to fly with an angle of maybe 20 degrees or so, 22 degrees. That's good. Now I like to switch to Kersey's point of view. Okay, everything is shaking. We can see the interior of the fairing, but we can't see the payload which is attached in front of our spacecraft. So it's still a secret, but it's nice to see the interior of the fairing. Okay, we are now accelerating. Very good, very good. And the main stage is out of fuel, so we can now jettison it. I can start the upper stage, and we can continue the burn. And how does our current trajectory look like? We have currently an apoapsis of 67 kilometers, so we need to raise it a bit more to have a good altitude. And well, as I can see, I think I can still launch a spacecraft when the science station is maybe somewhere over here above this bay, or reaching this small peninsula over there. I think this is still the right position of the space station in order to be launched, or well, for the missions I like to launch. And yeah, we are launching into orbital sunset. But I hope by doing so I can then have a rendezvous in the daylight with the space station. This would be good. So Bering and Kersey are now happy as they are in space. And yeah, the apoapsis is raising nicely. This is very good. And now we hear space music. We are out of the atmosphere. So now I can Bering separation. And as you can see, on top of our spacecraft is a tiny satellite, and it uses, or it has, the narrowband scanner. So now we can continue the, oh dear, 230. This is a bit much, but well, I like to bring the upper purposes to 240 kilometers. This is a good altitude. And this altitude, I like to deploy the satellite, and then I like to rendezvous with the science station. This is very cool. Okay, I can add a maneuver over here, and here I like to launch a satellite, and this thing can then scan Kerbal for ore. That's cool. Okay, I can now at first extend the solar arrays while we are in the coast phase, and I can, because we are now flying into the night side, switch on the lights so that we can see a little bit more of the spacecraft. Okay, very good. Now, a coast phase of 9 minutes to reach the apoapsis. Okay, we are now getting into the darkness. And 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, just a couple of seconds. Okay, now I can turn prograde again. And I can remove the maneuver node. And now I can at first insert this mission into a circular orbit around Kerbal at an altitude of 240 kilometers, where we can then... Okay, we are now in a circular orbit. Very nice, very nice. Okay, yeah, I think it will still take some time for the science station to catch up with us, so we can now perform a quick time warp to get back into the orbital sunrise. And okay, we are now orbital sunrise. Very nice. I like now to turn around in this way. Very good. And now I can say decouple node. Okay, the satellite is now deployed. I can perform a quick, or I can do some minor impulses with the RTS thrusters to drift away. Very good. How much fuel is left? Not very much fuel is left, so it's also time to get rid of this upper stage. And okay, the satellite has been deployed. It's equipped with 2 antennas to transmit the data, and it has some solar arrays and 2 tiny engines in order to alter a little bit the orbit if needed. And now I can turn it around, and we can now activate the scanner, and we can see, okay, we have our latitude and we do have our longitude. Right now we are above, well, down there is an ore of 4.52% on average. That's cool. And we are above the highlands of Kerbal. That's pretty cool. And I can toggle our GUI, and here we can see the distribution of ore. Over here is an abundance of 4.515%, and over here is Kerbal's water. There is about, wait, refresh. Okay, this is now an accurate image. This is now what we see, and we can see the abundance, we can see the distribution, and that's pretty cool. So I can even, oh dear, change the color, and I think the pink one is really good. Okay, I like to switch off this UI. So the satellite is now scanning Kerbal for ore. This is pretty cool, and I like to use this for a flight above Kerbal Space Center to see what is going on down there. That's pretty good. Okay, so the satellite is working. This is pretty good. Now the next thing is I like to get rid of the upper stage. Okay, the orbital ship 5 is now deployed. It's now in space, and the upper stage can now turn retrograde and can perform a quick burn in order to get deorbited, and it's gone. Very nice. Okay, that's a satellite, and oh wait, I like to switch to the satellite because I like to rename the vessel. It's now Orfinder 300. Okay, very good. So it has now a proper name. And here we are with our orbital ship 5 and the 2 new crew members for the science station. And I can set this as a target, and we do have a slight inclination. And yeah, I think at first I have to fix the inclination of 1.1 degrees. So I will fix this. And then I have to wait for the moment that the I can start this engine, that the science station is catching up with us, so that we can then perform a maneuver in order to rendezvous with it. Okay, wow, Kersey's happy. Kersey is really happy to be in space on her very first space mission. Okay, very good. So now I can turn toward the maneuver node, and we can get a little bit closer. Okay, very nice. Now I can perform the burn to change the inclination. Very good. And cut the engine. So now we have to wait, and Kersey can now go on she can turn on her lights, go on a quick EVA. So the first female Kerbalnaut is in space and is performing an EVA, and she is happy. Our first female Kerbalnaut is really happy to be in space. She's really enjoying to be out here. I think that's really an honor for her to be the first female Kerbalnaut in space, and so she can perform an EVA report, and she can keep the data because she is then responsible on board of the science station to transmute this EVA report into science points, and now she can board back into the orbital ship. Very good. Okay, we are here. There's our target. How long will it take until we are close? Okay, over here we are behind the science station. So where do we need to perform the burn in order to rendezvous with it? Over there in... This was the wrong button. 2.9 kilometers. Very good. 1.2 in 12 minutes. In 12 minutes it's time to perform a quick burn in order to get down to the science station. That's really cool. And in the meantime we can now zoom out, maybe it's, and we can focus view on Duna, and we can see what is going on down here. Where are the Duna space station? I like, no, not set, unset target. I like to switch to the Duna space station. Okay, where are we? We have well, we have barely reached, or we are a little bit away from the periapsis. So wait, I am controlling from where? Control from here. Okay, I'm controlling from the right position. So now I have to turn the thing easy around in order to perform the short maneuver, because yeah, I have still the idea of circulating the orbit of the Duna space station. Okay, I can now use RCS and easy bring down just a little bit the apoapsis, 401 kilometer, very good. And now I just need to wait for how long? 40 minutes, so that I can raise the periapsis a bit. And what about our interplanetary travel stage? Let me switch to it. Over here we are we are still 30 minutes away from our apoapsis, so it will take some time. So many things happening at once. That's crazy. That's totally crazy. Okay, so we can now return back to our orbital ship 5. I can return back to them, and orbital ship 5, no, not the ore finder, I like to have orbital ship 5, I like to switch to it. No, now I switched to the, okay, no new nearby objects. I thought I switched to my orbital ship 5. Okay, very good, and I like to rename this vessel because it's no longer, or well, it has no longer a payload. Very good. Okay, we are 9 minutes away from our maneuver node, so I can now perform a quick time warp to get closer to the moment of truth. Very good. 2 minutes, 1 minute, easy. Getting closer. Okay, very good. Now we can turn toward the maneuver node and perform the maneuver. Very good, very good. Okay. Good job, Kersey. Good job, Bearing. And cut the engine. Very good. So, oh, I like to set this as a target once again. 1.6 kilometers in 17 minutes. Very good, very good. So, this is just before the moment that we will reach, or that the interplanetary travel stage will reach its apoapsis, I guess. So, yeah, I think we can do this, or hopefully we can do this. I like to add a maneuver over here. And we can now perform the time warp. Kersey is really happy. Kersey is so happy to be in space. That's amazing. That's really amazing. Okay. Target. We are now 4 minutes. Down there is our science station. 1 minute. Easy, easy, easy. Okay, 1 minute. We are approaching it in a very fast rate, so I have to perform some correction burns in order to slow down on the one hand, and on the other hand to arrive spot on. And well, the horizon starts to become brighter. That's cool. So soon we will experience orbital sunrise. This is always a very spectacular moment. Okay, very good. And what have I done? Now it's down to 200 meters. 200 meters, this is great. It's very great. So we can continue our approach, and oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, getting closer. Now it's time to come at first to a stop and to perform some station keeping. Okay, easy, easy, easy. And cut the engine, very good. Okay, they are now performing station keeping. We are just before sunrise. Okay, orbital sunrise. Wow, that's beautiful. They are about 150 meters away from the science station. Very good. Now, as I said, we are now probably at the right moment that we can focus view Duner, and we can join the interplanetary travel stage to raise the apoapsis of to raise the periapsis of it. Switch to maneuver it out of the way of the... Yeah, we are now exactly at the apoapsis. This is great. To maneuver it out of the orbit and the trajectory of the Duner space station so that there is no collision likely. This is very easy. It's very important. Okay, I like to enable these numbers, and 415 kilometers, so I can perform a gentle burn and cut the engine. Very good. So, nice circular orbit. It's now out of the way of the Duner space station. Very good, very good. So, unfortunately in the darkness, so we can't see that much. And now, once again, we can switch back to the other celestial body. We can switch back to Kerbin and zoom in and Well, yeah, let's switch to the science station. Okay, here we are. For some reason there was a maneuver, and Sithead and Dodo are on board of the science station, and they are enjoying their time inside the mobile processing lab. And now I can switch back to these two Kerbalnauts on board of the orbital ship. On board of the orbital ship 5. So, okay, it's now time for them. I can switch over to docking mode. It's now time for them to approach the science station and to get closer to it. Okay, very good. And I need to have a docking port. I think I will dock over here. Can I set this as a target? Yeah, I hope this is the right docking port. I can set this as my target. Very good. So, okay, this will take some time, so we can perform a quick time warp to get closer. Easy. 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 Okay, very good, very good. So I need to drift a little bit sideways in order, and is this still the right? Yeah, it's still the docking port. Very good, very good. Okay. Very good, and maybe I can even fly a little bit downwards. This would be good. This would be really good to align with the docking port. And wow, look at Howley, look at Kersey. Kersey is so happy to be in space and to approach the science station. I think a dream for her has come true. She is in space. She is approaching the science station. I think she has dreamed all her life to become an astronaut, and now she is finally in space, and she's even approaching the science station. And wow, this must be really amazing for her. And now I can come to a stop, and now I can align with the docking port of the science station. Very good, very good. Okay. Now we are approaching the docking port. We are almost there. We are almost there. A perfect approach. This is really amazing. This is great. This is so great. And yeah, this orbital ship 5 is now also the new escape pod. In case that something goes wrong on board of the space station, it's now equipped with a heat shield, just in case. And yeah, so it's now also time to probably get rid of the old escape pod, but I'm not quite sure when I will do this. And well, it's maybe a little bit risky because it has no heat shield, but I hope. Okay, we are now docked to the science station. Very good. Just in case, I should now toggle the torque so that no problems will occur. And at first, one of the two crew members, Dodo, will now transfer over to the hitchhiker storage container. And then Bering will also transfer over there. And Kersey, where's Kersey? Kersey can go once again on a quick EVA. She can take the data, and she can now translate over to the mobile processing lab in order to start her work and to start to transmute this data into science points. That's very good. Okay, Kersey, grab and board. Okay. And is she happy? Yes, she is so happy. She is so happy. A dream has come for her. She is on board of the science station. Now she can perform some science on board of the science station. Wow, this is so great. I'm so happy for Kersey. Okay, I will keep the data, and now we can start research. Very good, very good. She is happy. She is smiling. And yeah, before we will end this episode, I can now once again switch back to Duna. I like to focus view Duna because I still like to circulate the orbit of my Duna space station. Okay, here we are, here we are. And we are approaching the apoapsis. This is very good. So in 4 minutes I can perform a quick time warp. Easy, easy. Okay, let's come to a stop. Now it's yeah, I will just turn the thing easy over here. Okay, very good. Now it's time for a very, very short impulse with the RTS thrusters. Okay. 399, 400. And we are now in a circular orbit. Okay, very good, very good. Now I'm happy. Now I'm really happy. And the last thing I like to do is to change the rotation of the... what is the right orientation or rotation? How do I need to do this in order to have this pointing in a... Okay, like this. Easy. Easy. Oh, maybe it's easier to change the rotation if I control from here. Here. This is not much easier. This is easier to change the orientation of the space station, and like this. Okay, this is great. This is great. So it's at a circular orbit at 400 kilometers finally. The interplanetary travel stage is no longer in the way. That's very good. And yeah, so the orbital ship 5 has arrived at the science station. Kersey is on board of the science station. Infrot is performing some science on board of the Duna space station. Wow, this is amazing. I think this was a really a successful episode. And with this, I'd like to thank you for watching. I hope you had some fun, and I hope you will be joining me in the next episode. Until then, my name is Zabby. See you!